To retrieve audit information from the SmartLinc 2 keypad and transmit it to your computer, the first thing you'll need is the SmartLinc 2 audit cable. You'll also need a USB to serial adapter. Connect the audit cable with the USB to serial adapter. Next, plug the USB end of the USB to serial adapter in a free USB port on your computer. Plug the gold end of the audit cable into the SmartLinc 2 keypad on the data port. Your hardware is now connected and you're ready to retrieve audit data. Activate the keypad by pressing the OK button. Press and hold the 0 button until the screen says Manager Code, then enter in the current user 1 combination. Once we enter into the programming menu, press the P button until PC-Link is displayed on the screen. Then press the OK button. PC-Link enabled will appear. This means that the keypad is now ready to transmit data when requested by the computer. Let's look at what's going on the screen a little more closely. To activate the Total Audit program to view audit data, first go to the Start menu on the Windows desktop, then the All Programs folder. Next, go to the Lagarde folder and select Total Audit. When the application appears, immediately you'll see you have 4 options available: Status, Report, Audit Lock, and Audit Logic Module. What we want to do is click the Audit Logic Module button. From the screen that appears, we're able to enter in more information about our keypad and lock. First thing we see on the upper left is a COM port number. All of the available COM port numbers will be listed here in this drop-down menu. You may need to try more than once before you're able to successfully guess which of the COM port numbers listed will be the one that will allow you to retrieve data from the lock. We'll go ahead and select COM 4. Next, under Record Selection, you can either leave all records selected by default. This option will allow every audit trail piece of data to be transmitted from the keypad to the computer. Or if you choose, you can select only a certain number of records. For example, here we have the first 10 records selected, and we can change that number to any other number we wish. But we'll go ahead and select all records. And then lastly, you have the option of entering in a date range as well. If you wish to only see events that have occurred between a couple of specific dates, place checkboxes in the Start and End field. Go ahead and select which days you're interested in, and then hit Get Data. I'm going to go ahead and remove the check marks. What we'd really like to see now is the first 50 events occurring. So I'm changing my record selection to the first 50 records, and I'm making sure that my date range fields are unchecked. Next, I'm going to hit Get Data. What we see immediately is that the information is pushed over from the keypad in a burst of data. Once we have all of this audit trail information, let's take a look at what makes up the audit trail report. Each audit trail event is assigned a unique audit trail number. That's the leftmost column. Up at the top of the column it says Number. The next one over says Date and then Time, indicating the date and the time that each event occurred on. The number of the lock on that the action occurred on will be listed in the 4th column, titled Lock. Number of entries here list LM, which actually means logic module. Rather than listing a lock number 1, 2, 3, or 4, if logic module is listed, what that means is the action took place on the keypad itself and did not affect any of the locks. the other fields, last name, first name, middle initial, will give us some information as far as which specific users actually used the save. These are only set up if the first, last, and middle initial are programmed into the computer. They will not be filled in properly by default. The last column, action, indicates the actual action that took place on the keypad. So we don't need to use our code reference table in order to determine what actions took place on the keypad. Now, to work with this data, select the File menu, and then you can either select to save as, in order to save this as a file out on your desktop or another place on the computer, or you can export it as well. If we select export, we're given the option to export this as a CSV Excel file. What this means is it's a comma-separated value file that can be imported into spreadsheet programs. In other words, all of the small boxes that one ordinarily sees in a spreadsheet-style display would appear separated by commas, allowing the spreadsheet program to read them and interpret the spreadsheet data so that it can lay it out properly. So what we would want to do is, if we were saving this so we could view it in Excel, we would make sure to save this as a CSV Excel file. And let's go ahead and give it a descriptive name. And we'll find an easy place to place the file. Typically the desktop is an excellent place to place a file because it's easily visible and retrievable from that location. So once we've typed in a name and we've selected a place to save it, go ahead and hit save. And as you can see, we have a new file on our desktop, Audit Log. I'll go ahead and double click that. Because I have Excel installed on the computer, I'm able to open this up and view the information in a spreadsheet form. I'll go ahead and close out for now. And since we're done working with our information over here, we can also close this. However, there's one more option we can do. We can also print the data directly. If you go to the File menu and then select Print, you're able to select which printer to use, and go ahead and hit Print. So you can print it directly from this program. So your options are either to save this in a log file that can only be accessed by the Logic Module Audit Report program here. You can export it as a comma-separated value file, a CSV file, that can be imported into Excel or another spreadsheet, or you can print it directly from here by going to File and then Print. This concludes the retrieval of the audit log from the SmartLinc keypad to the PC.